note. That is the theory of consumer behavior. First, we'll finish that lesson. After that, I will start the new lesson, theory of firm. Right now, last week we discussed about the theory of consumer choice. We said that in a market economy, consumer when consumes always tries to maximize utility, satisfaction. Then we want to describe or have a model explanation. How does this consumer allocate his limited income in order to get the maximum utility? Because he's a price taker. He cannot change the market economy. The prices are determined by the demand and supply forces. So consumer is called a price taker. Other thing is his income is fixed for a given period. Fixed income is fixed. He doesn't have any control over his income. At the same time, he's a price taker. Then he wants to maximize the utility. How does he allocate this income? We develop this model using only two goods. In the real economy, there are millions of, thousands of millions of goods. But here we want to develop this model using a simple the economy. After that, you can generalize. Then the two good economy, we have two approaches. The first approach, we assume that utility or the satisfaction can be measured, cardinal measure of utility. Consumer can assign numbers to his level of his satisfaction. First orange, second orange, third orange, he can assign numbers. Then based on that cardinal approach to utility, economists explain this model. Then what is the condition? At the utility maximizing combination, consumer divide his income so that he get the same marginal utility per rupee from both goods. Same marginal utility from both goods. That is the marginal approach to theory of consumer behavior. Then the second approach, indifference curve approach. Indifference curve approach assumes utility cannot be measured. Consumer only can rank different situations, different bundles of goods. So he can say, I prefer oranges to apple. Or I prefer apple to oranges. Or I am indifferent, I don't mind. Indifferent. So these are the three possible answers. It's a very logical approach to any consumer working at Vellavatta branch and working at PETA branch. The indifference curve approach, we think consumer can say, I prefer to work Vellavatta branch is preferred to PETA. Or same consumer can say, PETA is preferred to Vellavatta. Or same consumer can say, I am indifferent, I don't mind. I am getting the same satisfaction, same utility, indifferent. Right. That is about the preference. Then we ask the question, what are the assumptions of consumer's preference? Completeness, transitivity, more is preferred to less. Completeness. Given any two situations, any two bundles, consumer should be able to rank. Q is preference. Transitivity, consistency, rationality, assumption. A is preferred to B, B is preferred to C, then A is preferred to C. More is preferred to less. I use the term tanha in Buddhism, called tanha. So the consumers always prefer, in a free enterprise economy, always prefer more to less. More is preferred to less. More is preferred to less. That is another assumption about the consumer's taste. Then we discuss indifference curve. Indifference curve is a curve. Along this indifference curve, you have different bundles. 1 and 11, 2 and 7, 3 and 4, 4 and 2. All these bundles give the same utility, same satisfaction. Indifference curve, maybe you note the 100. Bundle A gives 100 satisfaction, B gives 100 utility, C gives 100 utility, D gives 100 utility. Along an indifference curve, total utility is constant, fixed. Then different shapes of the difference curve. We said the perfect substitutes. Indifference curves are set of downward sloping straight line. The higher the indifference curve, higher the utility. They do not intersect. Right? So then we would example for a colorblind consumer, the red pens and blue pins. Then now what will happen? Then we'll discuss the perfect complements. Right shoe, left shoe. Right glove, left glove. Example. Or you can say tea and sugar. 1 cup, 2 sugar. 2 cup, 4 sugar. 3 cup, 6 sugar. Like that, always some fixed proportions he consumes. Therefore, his consumption bundle moves from one point to another. It's like that. It never move along this one. These bundles are invalid because the 1 right shoe and 5 left shoes. No use. No use. Then that is the one. That is about the indifference curve. General indifference curve is convex to the origin. They do not intersect. They are negatively sloped. Excuse me, I need. Sorry. Sorry. Right. Right, okay. The indifference curve represents consumer utility or his likes and dislikes. Along an IC, his total utility in consuming the bundles of goods on the curve. Along an his total utility in consuming the bundles of goods. There's something wrong here. Along an IC indifference curve, his total utilities in consuming the bundles of goods on the curve is fixed. Please change that. Is fixed. Along an indifference curve, his total utility in consuming the bundles of goods is fixed. Not full stop. This is, I can't change. Is fixed. Let me see. No, I can't change. I can't change. Is fixed. Here you have to add. Is fixed. Now we are going to discuss his budget constraint, market environment. Now, all the limitations that he has to face in buying goods. He has limitation, income limited, prices he cannot change. There are such limitation. Now we are going to model consumers' market environment. Earlier, we modeled the consumer's preference, taste. Thank you. We assume that consumer has limited income and he has to accept the prices in the market. You can take down, he's a price taker. Accept the price means price taker. Consumer is a price taker in the market economy. We all are price takers. We can't change the price, right? So the price taker. Yes. In other words, he's a price taker. Let us assume that there are two goods, X and Y. Two goods, X and Y. The price of these goods are PX and PY. Also, his income is I. A numerical example, let's assume income is 50. Income is 50. The PX, price of X, unit of price of X, let's say the 5, PY is 10. Unit price is 10. What are the combination of goods X and Y that our consumer could purchase by spending all his income? Income 50, prices are given 5 and 10. Now the combination, XY combination that he can buy using this 50 rupees, spending all 50. What are the combinations? Now that is called the budget line. Now these are the combination, right? Quantity of X, 0. If you don't buy, spending 0. If you buy 2 units, spending 10 rupees. Then balance 40 can be spent on Y. You can buy maximum 4. For total expenditure 40. Now 10 plus 40 is 50. Similarly, if a consumer doesn't buy any of X, he can spend all his income to buy Y. How many units can be purchased? 5. So if 50 rupees, no, price is 10. Then he can buy 5 units. 5 into 10 is 50. Combination. Then 4 and 3. 4 units of X cost him 20. 4 into 5, 20. 3 units of Y cost him 30. 20 plus 30, 50. 6 and 2. 6 of X cost him 30. 5 into 6, 30. 2 Y cost him 20. 10 into 20. Price 10. 30 plus 20, 50. So therefore, now this combination of X and Y, the maximum combination of X and Y that he can purchase using this 50 and also spending 50. He doesn't save. He's not a saver. He does not lend. He's not a lender. He consumes. He is very contented person. You have income 50, you spend your 50 only to buy these 2 goods. That is neither saver nor borrower. Now, budget constraint is the constraint. Now, these combination, if you plot these X and Y in a graph, that shows that a straight line, that is showed the budget line. Budget constraint is the constraint that consumer faces as a result of limited income. Right. Now, using the notations, budget line shows price of X, Px, into X unit, Pxx, plus price of Y, Py, into expenditure is Pyy, spending on X, Pxx, spending on Y, Pyy, equals income. Total spending equals total income. If income, if he doesn't spend all his income, then he's a saver. If he spend more than his income, he's a borrower. Now in this model, we assume no, he's neither saver nor borrower. Now this, we can draw the budget line using these about table, numbers in the about table. These are the budget line. I can draw this, but yeah, and this one. Budget line is this. Even you can draw this using this these two. You the XY axis, you mark X 0, 2, 6, 8, 10, Y. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take down this question. Draw the budget line using consumption bundles given in 2.3. Consumption bundles given in 2.3, table 2.3. That is, you have to use only X and Y, this X and Y. Then mark along the X and Y axis, you can draw the budget line. Mathematically, it is like this. X and Y. You also get XY like a straight line. If you are familiar with this, mathematically, now this I over Px is, if you spend all your 50 rupees to buy X, you can buy this much. That is 10. If you spend only the 50 rupees to buy Y, 5 units, 10 and 5. That is the straight line. In between, you have other combinations. Straight line. Slope of the budget line, Px over Py. Mathematically, you can rearrange this Px or Py in terms of the y equals mx plus c, you take Px to like other side of the this thing, then you divide both sides by Py. Slope is Px or Py. Slope, price relative. This is called price ratio, price relative. Take down price relative, relative price, relative price. Px slope is the relative price. Ex divided by Py. Ex divided by Py, relative price. Okay, now we have everything. On the one hand, you have consumers, the utility represented by indifference curve. Other hand, we have consumers market environment represented by the budget constraint. Now you are going to combine. For what? You want to find out at what point he can maximize the utility, or what is the utility maximizing combination. Utility maximization. So far we have discussed two aspects of consumer choice. First, his preferences or utility, and secondly, his budget constraint. The theory of consumer behavior assumes that the consumer wants to maximize utility subject to his budget constraint. In other words, his problem is to choose, underline that. In other words, his problem is to choose the utility maximizing bundle of goods subject to the budget constraint. Underline. I want you to underline because this is one of the questions in September 2018 or 19 paper. What is the problem, consumer's problem in the market economy? This is the answer. Consumer's problem is to choose the utility maximizing bundles subject to budget, or how to maximize utility subject to budget. There are various versions, but this is the question. For example, what is the objective? Firms, the objective in the market economy, maximize the profit subject to budget, subject to cost. Because your annual budget is, firm has a limited budget, 40 million, 60 million. Board of directors give you some fixed budget. So you have to decide the maximum decide profit maximizing output. Consumer's problem is decide the profit maximizing bundles subject to budget. Okay. Now this condition, little bit mathematical, is the condition at the utility maximizing condition point, slope of the IC, indifference curve. That is, remember, marginal rate of substitution is equal to slope of the budget line, Px over Py. Slope of the IC MRS is the ratio of marginal utilities, MUX or MUY, divided by Px or Py. Whether this derivation is, we are not going to discuss. At the utility maximizing point, indifference curve and the budget line just touch, tangent. So tangency condition is, mathematically speaking, slope of the two curves same. Slope of the indifference curve equals slope of the budget line. Slope of the indifference curve is MRS. Slope of the budget line is Px or Py. Relative price. Right. That is MUX or MUY equal Px or Py. You can rearrange that. MUX or Px is equal to MUY or Py. You can take Px down. Then the MUY up. Then remember this condition. You can block this. Draw the box. Box this. This is the condition under the marginal utility approach. Remember, even if you use marginal utility, cardinal approach, or ordinal approach, you will end up with same condition. Marginal utility per rupee on X equals marginal utility per rupee on Y. Very interesting. Two theories, two assumptions, but utility maximizing condition is same. That's why it is interesting. Different theories are there, they converge. theories converges. Then that means theory is very strong. Theory has some basis. If you use first approach or the second approach, you end up with the same condition. That means your theory is firm. Right. Okay. Then what will happen? Yeah, not drawn this diagram. No? Something missing here. Some pages are missing. I have to draw this. Please draw along this the curve, indifference curve, just tangent. Can you draw that? Draw this curve, indifference curve. Draw this curve, like here. Draw that. I'll draw this. Sorry, actually I thought that is that. For this curve, difference curve, right? This I see. The tangency point is here. This is the tangency point. I see tangency point. Just touch. X star, Y star. Point at the A. At A, indifference curve and the budget line tangent. So at that point, units of X star, Y star. Then we can say X star, Y star is called utility maximizing combination. X star, Y star is called utility maximizing combination of good X and Y. At that point, why it is called utility maximizing point? Mathematically, it is tangency point. Indifference curve and the budget line just touch. The economic speaking is, what is the condition? MUX over PX is equal to MUY over PY. What does that mean? Utility, marginal utility per rupee on X equals marginal utility per rupee on Y. Same marginal utility. You spend a rupee on X, same rupee on Y, you get the same marginal utility. At that point, we call consumer maximizes utility. Maximizes utility. Therefore, it is, this is the diagram, right? Please take down that. MUX or MUY. Right. We'll go back to this lesson. Right. Let it come. Sorry. I thought that I have drawn this. Now you have the complete now. At that point, slopes are same. Suppose slopes different. Now what will happen if the slopes are different? Then what will happen? consumer is getting more marginal utility from X than Y. More marginally from X than Y from a rupee. Therefore, what is his normal behavior? He will increase consumption of X, decrease the consumption of Y. Because you are getting more marginal utility, no? Increase X, decrease Y. At the end, again you come to the, because of the law of diminishing marginal utility, come to the this equilibrium condition. MUX or MPX. That is the one. Right. Then the interpret the above result. Application. Now the application of the theory of consumer behavior. Last week we said you can have theory. You can have a theory, but if we cannot apply this, explain certain the actual real world situations and give solution to the real world the problems, theory is meaningless. Right? Theory without application is meaningless. But this theory you can apply. These are the applications. Price consumption curve we can derive. Income consumption curve can be derived, ICC. ICC is not International Cricket Council, right? International Cricket Council. Now these days ICC is asking lots of questions from the Cricket Council, because there was an allegation. Now 2011 there was the match fixing. Now some of these politicians want to investigate that, right? Now ICC has a problem. So ICC, they have the local office, and then they are asking questions of various issues about that thing, ICC. Here the ICC is economics. ICC is income consumption curve. Then third one is we can derive the demand curve for a good using this theory. That is interesting. But the disaggregation of total effect into two components, income effect and substitution effect. Income effect and substitution effect. The next question, we ask the question, what is better? Cash income or income in kind? I first simply ask this last question, part D, part 2 of question D. What is better? Cash income or income in kind? Cash income. For example, in the morning, when you get ready and come to this the IBSL, or no, you are not coming to IBSL, a usual day, the father or the mother give you some fixed amount, let's say 50 rupees, for your as the pocket money. Or you can say, okay, we can give you some ticket. You can buy whatever you want. I will settle the bill, right? Food item, right? Similarly, the macro level, we can say government can give a poor households 2,500 rupees cash, or government can decide equivalent amount of rice, income in kind, income in cash, income in kind. For example, 1,000 rupees to the poor households, or the 10 kilograms of rice. If the rice price is 100 rupees, 1,000 is settled. Cash income versus the kind income. These are the microeconomic policies. What is better? Answer me. What do you prefer? Getting cash income or the some kind of income in kind? Getting some in the morning, getting the pocket money of 100 rupees, or some hot dog, 2 hot dogs. You can eat 2 hot dogs. What is better, cash income or income in kind? Answer me. What do you think? Under which policy consumers the sovereignty, consumers choice is established? Which one is not constrained? Which one? Income in kind or income in cash? What is better? Tell me, one of you. What is better policy? Cash income or kind income? Yes? I can't have your names actually here. Tell me. Yes? One of these ladies or gentlemen, tell me what is better. Just any answer. What is better? Cash income or kind income? Can you hear me? Yes. What is better? Cash income or kind income? Yeah?
Cash, cash income.
Cash income. Very good. Why is that? Why is that? Because the then consumers independence is there, no? Consumers sovereignty. As so long as consumers the choice, consumers independence, consumers sovereignty is enhanced, that policy is a better policy, right? So government should give household, poor poverty alleviation, income in cash. Then household can decide. It's up to the consumer. That is up to the household. You don't restrict their consumption. So therefore, now using this theory, consumer behavior, you can prove that also. That's very important. Cash income is better than income in kind. Your life. If your father gives you 100 rupees, is much better than asking you to eat 2 hot dogs. It's better getting 100 rupees much better. You don't want to eat hot dogs, so you can spend that 100 rupees to any other item as you like, as you wish, right? This last item is a very important microeconomic policy. The government always try to give income in kind, income in cash, right? Cash income. So the this fertilizer subsidy, sometimes government sell fertilizer at a subsidized rate. Oh, sorry, fertilizer some fixed kilograms of fertilizer or equivalent amount of money. Poverty, the poor household can be given fixed cash income or 10 kilograms of rice or the kind income. Always, cash income is better. It enhances consumers' independence. Therefore, it is better. Right. Now we'll come to this first one, price consumption curve. I will draw this price consumption curve. Is before that, I have to explain one thing I want you to take down. Right. This budget line, of course, this is the budget line good X and good Y. Take down this. Budget line. When the budget line PY constant, income constant. When I put bracket, they are constant. Suppose price of X decreases. What is the notation? Price of X decreases, PY constant, I constant. Price of X decreases. Then what is on this budget line rotates. Budget line rotates around this one. That is the price of X decrease. Earlier price of X is 5 rupees. PX is 5. PY is 10. Now PX decreases to the 3. PY 10. Income 50. Income 50. What will happen to the budget line? Rotates. Budget line rotates. Budget line rotates anti-clockwise. Your the feasible set. Your the amount of good that you can afford using the 50 rupees. This area expand. Now what will happen? Consumer can attain high indifference curve. Initially he is here. Now price of X is lower. Your budget line shift, rotates. He can attain high indifference curve. Again another curve. Indifference curve. Now you can attain different utility maximizing points. Sorry, I'm sorry. You never told me. This is the one. Sorry. Initial budget line V1 is this. Initial budget line V1. Price of X decreases. Price of X decreases. Now budget line rotates. Second budget line. Price of X decreases. Third budget line V3. Price of Y constant, income constant. Now budget line rotates. Then your affordable bundles increases. Now you can attain high indifference curve. Maybe utility here is 100. Initially you are at 100 level. Now 200 level, 300 level. You can attain higher and higher utility level. By joining these points, you get price consumption curve. This curve is called PCC. Take down. Price consumption curve. Take down that. That is important. Price consumption curve. Price consumption curve. Budget line, when price of X decreases, budget line rotates, consumer can attain higher and higher utility, 100, 200, 300 level. By joining this utility maximizing point, these are the new utility maximizing points. These are the curve called price consumption curve, one of the application. Now this curve shows when other factors are held constant, how the consumption bundle changes with respect to price of X. Other factors, price of Y, income constant. When price of X decreases, how does the consumer change his consumption pattern? He moves at this point when price of X decreases. That is called price consumption curve. Right? Now we'll come to income consumption, number 2, income consumption curve. Please take down this. Take down this. Then we'll come to the income consumption curve. I'm going to draw the income consumption curve. Income consumption curve. Please take down this first. Right. PX5, PY10, income 50. Now, price of X decreases 5 to 3. PY constant, income 50. Now what? Budget line rotates. Rotates around this point. Then price decreases. Income consumption curve, number 2, take down. Income, ICC, income consumption curve. Income consumption curve. In this case, we assume price of X constant and PY constant. PX constant, PY constant. Let's assume income increases. Income increases. Income increases. PX constant, PY constant, income increases. Now you have to draw the budget line. Initial budget line as earlier, like this. Good X, Y. Initial budget line is this. Earlier, budget line rotates when one of the price of one good changes. Now in this case, price is constant, income increases, budget line shifts, parallel shift in the budget line. That is another movement of the budget line, parallel shift. Now what is that? Again, your feasible set, combination of good X and Y, affordable bundles increases. When income increases, keeping constant, prices of the two goods. When income increases, keeping constant, the prices of the two goods, the budget line shifts. Budget line shifts. Now what is that? Again, consumer, initially consumer is here, consuming this combination. Now he can attain high indifference curve. high indifference curve. For example, income 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 along this budget line. On income, EXPY constant. Now what will happen? By joining these new points, we derive curve that is called ICC, income consumption curve. Take down ICC, income consumption curve. Take down that ICC. Now you can understand this PXPY constant, income increases. Value 1, PY income constant, PX decreases. Income consumption curve. Take down that. Income consumption curve. These are utility again. 100, 200, 300, 400. Consumer can attain high difference curve, higher the combination, income consumption curve. Now we will discuss very important application. We are going to discuss. Take down that. Right. Now we are going to discuss very important the concept that is called income, deriving the demand curve for a good. Because one of the important application. Now I want to draw this diagram carefully. I'm going to draw two diagrams. Two diagrams. I don't know. I can draw this. Please take down that. I'm going to draw that. Derive the demand curve using our basic model, theory of consumer behavior, indifference curve approach. One of the application now they say you can derive the demand curve. How to derive the demand curve? Now I'm going to draw two diagrams. Two diagrams. I'm going to draw two diagrams. Up, down, up, down. Our indifference curve X and Y. Right, take that. Below diagram, below we have axis good X, price of X, PX. Draw that. Earlier you have indifference curve budget line framework. Using this, you are going to derive the demand curve. Demand curve. Right? Indifference curve budget line and the demand curve. Draw that. First, we draw the budget line, initial one, budget line, and the indifference curve. This is a combination at this point. Good X, consumption of good X is this. Let's say X1, X1. You project that to down, good X. X1, X1. At this point, down here. We assume price of X is PX1, PX1. At this point, we assume price of X is PX1. This X is price, no? Price of X, PX1. PX1. Take down that. So this is one of the points. PX1. How to get that? From the indifference curve. First we get initial utility maximizing point, consumption X1, utility maximizing consumption X1. To bring that to down the diagram down there, price of X, PX. Now, price of X is PX1, initial price. That is, if that this point is A, this point, let's say A dash, A dash, A dash, right? A dash. Take down. Now, we'll assume price of X decreases. When price of X decreases, other factors constant. Price of Y constant, income constant, only price of X decreases. Then what will happen? Budget line rotates. Budget line rotates. Budget line rotates. Now what will happen? Price of X decreases. Price of X decreases to PX2. PX2. Take down that. Price of X decreases. PY constant. Income constant. Only price of X decreases to PY. PX2. As a result, budget line rotates. Budget line rotates. We know when price decreases, budget line rotates. Now what will happen? Consumer can attain high indifference curve. Another bundle. High utility. U1, U2, 100, 200. Another utility at this point. Point B. Now, consumption of X is this one, PX2. X2, you come down. X1, X2. X1, X2, X1, X2, X1, X2, X1, X2. This point. Point B. Now, we know price of X1 is X2 along this budget line, price X2. But at the same time, we know PX2 is less than PX1. PX2 is below the PX1. PX2 is below the PX1. PX2 is below the PX1. Consumption X2. Therefore, next point is here. PX2 is here. No? Price of X decreases. No? PX2. Now we have 2 points on the demand curve. Now we can, joining these points, that is, let's say B dash, B dash. I'll explain that. A, initial combination, initial consumption, X1. Initial price, PX1. B, final consumption when price of X decreases to PX2. New consumption X2, new price PX2. Now, next point. Now we can join these 2 points. What is this? Demand curve. Demand for good X. Demand curve for good X. That is interesting. So using this indifference curve budget line framework, you can derive the demand curve. This is the demand curve for good X. Take down that. Good X. Demand curve for good X. Right? Take down that demand curve for good X. Take down that. So this indifference curve budget line framework model helps us to draw the demand for good X. Demand curve for good X. Another application, very important application. Right? So now I have a question. Along this demand curve, what are fixed? What are fixed? Price of Y fixed. Consumer's income is fixed. Other factors are held constant. Consumer's income and the price are held constant. That is the demand curve. Along the demand curve, price of Y and income constant. You know the demand curve, when you know the demand curve, other factors are held constant. What are these other factors here? Price of Y, income. You don't touch those 2 variables. They are constant. Utility also fixed. Utility fixed means utility, his utility structure of his utility function constant. Taste is also constant. Same structure for his preference. So that is along the demand curve, they are fixed. Right. Okay. Understand? Now we'll go to the third one, fourth one. Very important. Disaggregation of total effect into two components. Disaggregation of total effect into two components. We will discuss the briefly. We are going to use this. We can draw, but we can discuss first. Before you draw we can discuss what is this. Now this when price of a good decreases, price of X decreases. Other factors are held constant. Income constant, price of Y constant, price of X decreases. What will happen? Consumer increase the consumption of X. Law of demand. When price of X decreases, consumer increase the consumption of that good. Other factors are held constant. Why? What is the reason? Why do people increase the consumption, price decreases? Why do people increase the consumption of a good or service when price decreases? Why is that? Yes? We cannot say it is because of a law of demand. Now we are asking why there is law of demand. Why there is law of demand? Why do people increase consumption of a good when price decreases? Why? Now behind the demand curve, we are going to discuss the theory or the reasons behind the demand curve. Why do people increase? When I am reading, if you want, you can take down some notes also. If I am talking, why do people increase the consumption and price decreases? Behind the demand curve, two things happens. Number one, when overall price of these are two goods, no? Income, price of consumption X and Y. When one good price of X decreases, price of Y constant, price of X decreases, what will happen? Your purchasing power increases. When things are cheaper, people's purchasing power increases. People's cost of living decreases. People can afford more. Real income increases, in other words. When price of X decreases, consumers are richer than earlier. Take down these things. Consumers will be richer than earlier. Their real income increases. What is real income? Nominal income, real income. Nominal income, real income. Nominal income may be 5,000 rupees. Nominal income 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees. Right? Let's say price of a sari. Price of a sari price varies. A huge, big range. Price varies. From office wearing saris maybe 1,000 rupees, 1,200, 2,000 rupees. Then if you go like that, 25,000, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000. Wedding sari, the 100,000, 200,000. Sometimes people, wedding couples, they go to have a trip to India, South India, Dharmapuram, Kanjipuram, and buy saris for their weddings. Very expensive saris. 100,000, 50,000, 80,000. Even here, Sri Lanka, wedding saris are very expensive. No? Let's assume income is 5,000. Office wearing sari is 1,000. Nominal income 5,000. Price of a sari is 1,000. I just want to give the difference between nominal and the real income. Nominal income 5,000. Price of a sari 1,000. How many saris can be purchased? If you spend all the income to buy saris, then you can buy only 5 saris. 5 saris. So, nominal income 5,000. Your amount of goods, amount of saris, number of saris that you can buy is only 5. Suppose price of sari decreases to 500. Only 1,000. Now 500. Now you can buy, if you spend all your income, 5,000 to buy saris, you can buy 10 saris. Price of a sari is 500. Earlier 1,000, 10 saris. Earlier you can buy 5 saris at the price of 1,000. Now you can buy 10 saris. The amount of goods that you can purchase number of saris that you can purchase using your income increased. We call it real income has increased. So when price decreases, price level decreases, people's real income increases. Amount of goods that you can purchase using a given nominal income increases. Consumer will be richer than earlier. You don't get the 5,000, more than 5,000, but really you are richer. Real income increases. Number of goods and services that you can buy has increased. That means your real income. Now we come to this point. Now you know the difference between real and nominal income. Now, when the price of X decreases, PY constant, income constant, what will happen? Consumer will be richer than earlier. His real income increases. As a result, he increased the consumption of X. That is called income effect. That is called income effect. Total effect, one component is the income effect. Price decreases, he increase the consumption. Maybe due to real income effect, that is called income effect. Because when price of X decreases, your overall purchasing power, real income increases. Therefore, you can afford more of that good. Take down this small note about change in demand. Change in demand due to the change in real income alone. Change in demand due to change in real income alone is called the income effect. The income effect is called the income effect of a price change. It's called the income effect of a price change. That is income effect. Substitution effect. Now, again, what is our basic question? When price of X decreases, people increase the consumption. Then we ask the question, why? First thing is, when price decreases, you will be richer than earlier. Your real income increases. As a result, you can afford more. You will buy more of X. Now we have another component that is called substitution effect. Take down the definition. Change in substitution effect. Change in income, change in demand for a good, change in demand for a good. When due to the change in relative price of that good. Change in the relative price of that good is called change in relative price of that good is called substitution effect. I will explain that. What is substitution effect? For the earlier price of X, and I will go to the substitution effect. Go to the board. Let's assume earlier Px equals 5, Py equals 10. Early example. So relative price is Px over Py. Relative price. Px over Py is 5 over 10. That is 0.5. Price of X relative to Y is 0.5. Now let's assume Px decreases to 3. Py constant, Py same. Now what is relative price? Relative price is now Px over Py. Now what will happen? 3 over 10. 0.3. Now we are going to compare these things. 0.5, 0.3. Take that. Price of X decreases, Py constant. 0.3. What has happened? Relative price has decreased. Price of X has decreased 5 to 3. Relative price has decreased. Dot. Now, what is relative price? Price of X relative to Y. Price of X relative to Y is now lower. As a result, you can afford more of X. Your consumption basket, you buy more of X than Y. Because relative to Y, now X is cheaper. You buy more X. That is called substitution effect. In your consumption basket, you substitute X. You buy more. Substitution effect is you buy more of X. Because now X is relative to Y, X is cheap. Substitute. It is called substitution effect. That's why it is called substitution effect. Change in demand due to change in relative price alone is called substitution effect. Substitution effect. Now you can write down total effect is equal to income effect plus substitution effect. Total effect equals income effect plus substitution effect. What is income effect? That is the increase in demand due to increase in real income. This is increase in demand due to fall in relative price. For example, if the total effect is 5, substitution effect may be at the 3. Now, balance is due to the substitution effect. 3 plus 2 equals 5. Total effect is equal to the 3 plus 2. Price of X decreases. Consumer increase demand by 5 units. Now we have disaggregated that into 2. How much due to income effect? How much due to increase in real income? How much due to the fall in the relative price? He said due to increase in real income, he increased the consumption by 3 units. Then balance is 2. No? 2 is due to the substitution effect due to the fall in the relative price. Now this disaggregation graphically using our model can be illustrated. Total effect is equal to substitution income effect can be illustrated. That is sometimes in the, I can't remember that is beyond this. I can do that. The Hicksian disaggregation or this Lasky's disaggregation. Hicksian disaggregation. I can draw the diagram. At the moment, we will not. I have included as a question there, income effect and the substitution effect. So, but in this case, you can the question can be asked: explain income effect, explain substitution effect. What is the relationship between total effect, income effect, and the substitution effect? So, total effect is equal to total increase of demand. Demand is equal to the increase in demand due to the income effect, and increase in demand due to the fall in relative prices, right? Substitution effect. That is the theory. Disaggregation at this point we will not discuss. Right. Come to the lesson, back to the lesson. What is the time now? Right. Okay. Right. Now this we discussed PCC, ICC, We derive the demand curve from this. I didn't draw the diagram, but I discussed what is income effect, what is substitution effect. That one, last one is microeconomic policy application. What is better policy? Cash income or kind income? We said cash income. Why is that? Cash income enhances consumers' independence, consumers' likes and dislikes, the consumer sovereignty. If you give income in kind, you have to stick to that particular policy. 10 kilograms of rice, right? But in cash income, it is not like it's up to the consumer. Therefore, that is a better policy. Now we'll discuss some of the one or two questions from this. There is one, practice question for. With practice questions, they are very important. These are from the past papers. Please, we'll spend the 10 minutes on this practice question. Please, it's an open book. You can go through your notes. In the class, I said you can discuss with your friend, but that is not possible now. You are alone at home now, lying on the bed, maybe eating something. So the chatting with a friend. So I don't know. I can't see all. But anyway, you can use your notes, and we'll spend 10 minutes. Please, first question, part A. State the 3 assumptions of consumer preference. What is assumption? Completeness, transitivity, more is preferred to less. Axiom of assumption of completeness, assumption of transitivity, assumption of non-satiation, or more is preferred to less. The assumptions. Number 2. State the law of diminishing marginal utility. This is a fundamental law in economics, universal law in economics. This is true for any country in the world. Right? What is that? When consumer consume a good or service, the marginal utility of that consumption of that good or service eventually diminishes. Eventually diminishes. When a consumer consumes a good or service, the marginal utility of the consumption eventually diminishes downwards. But see, Sarat said, I just can't decide whether I would take a vacation in Spain, or attend 2015 batch party to be held at Galadari. You say, I just can't decide whether I would take a vacation in Spain or attend 2015 batch party to be held at Galadari. I just can't decide. I don't know. I can't say. I can't give preference. I can order. Which of the 3 assumptions of consumer preference is violated by this statement? Completeness. Assumption of completeness. Because what is completeness? Given any 2 situations, consumer should be able to rank. A is preferred to B. Going to Spain is better than attending this batch party. B is preferred to A. Attending batch party is better than going to Spain. Or A and B indifferent. Going to Spain than attending the batch party, same utility, indifferent. Now, in this guy says actually, I can't decide. So therefore, which assumption is violated? Assumption of completeness. Part D. The Pranita, now this Spain story. Spain actually recently, now 2 days ago, now they open up the economy for tourists. For Spain, of course, you know, annual tourist arrivals, how much? Tourist arrivals, that country. Annual tourist arrival for Sri Lanka, 2 million. Nearly 2 million. So very good. The usually 1 million, 1.2 million. Yeah, last year it was a recorded high. The 2 million. Spain, annual tourism 20 million. Lots of historical places are there. Spain, right? So the 20 million people are going there, billions of dollars money. So because of the COVID, they didn't get this income. So the moment they get the chance, they open up the economy. They are invited the tourists to, okay, please come and visit us. Please come and see our beauty of our country. Now, still we are not open up because we very cautious. We are very cautious. Cautiously open up the economy. Now, today I saw this. Earlier the decision to open the airport. Coming week. Now they say no. It is not yet. We have decided that we'll postpone that date, right? So without the airport, tourists can't come. So the 2 million, we lost the huge income. Even 2 million for a country, a small country, is a huge money. So the Spain is now, of course, if you prefer to go to Spain, now Spain is ready to receive you, but be careful about COVID. COVID still there, right? If something, their health expenses are, now most of these countries, health is very expensive. Even Dubai, no free health like Sri Lanka, right? You have to have your own budget, own insurance. That's why most of these people want to come back. Because the more time you spend there, there's a tendency to get the COVID, so therefore they immediately want to come back to your country because it's free. Yeah, it is free, right? Okay. Now the part D. Pranita said that she prefers treasury bill to a fixed deposit. Treasury bill to a fixed deposit, and a fixed deposit is preferred to company shares. But she is indifferent between treasury bills and company shares. Is this behavior consistent with the assumption of consumer behavior? If not, why? Explain. Now, this we have treasury bills, fixed deposit, company shares. Three things, three goods. Treasury bill is an investment, low risk investment. Fixed deposit, low risk investment. Then the company share is a risky investment, right? So therefore, this is talking about transitivity, property of transitivity. Let's see. Let's write down now. Let's write down now. Treasury bills, fixed deposit. Treasury bills and fixed deposit. Treasury bills, I will write down treasury bills, fixed deposit. And fixed deposit is referred to company share, right? Now we say fixed deposit is referred to company share. Treasury bills. Pranita, treasury bills is preferred to fixed deposit. Greater than. Again, she says fixed deposit is preferred to company share. Share. Company share. A risk. Then if her preference satisfy the transitivity property, treasury bill should be preferred to company share. Agree? Treasury bill preferred to FD, FD greater than CS. Therefore, these two, FD should be greater than CS. But what is the answer? He said treasury bills and CS indifferent. That is the answer. She is not rational. Her preference is not consistent. Why? She violates, because of this, she violates the assumption of transitivity. If this is the case, she says, we agree. This should be the case. Now she says, between treasury bills and consumers, company shares is indifferent. No. Then axiom of transitivity is violated. Transitivity is violated. That is the problem. Right? Right. Is this behavior consistent with the assumption of consumer? No. If not, why? Answer is that behavior violate, because he said indifference. No, last 2 points. The violate the assumption of transitivity, right? Next one. Define MRS between two goods X and Y. What is MRS between two goods X and Y? Marginal rate of substitution between two goods X and Y. That is, MRS is the amount of good Y, one good, that the consumer is willing to substitute to get one more units of the other good and not changing the utility, total utility. Good Y, amount of good Y that consumer is willing to substitute to get 1 unit of good X, so that she is getting the same total utility. You are on the same indifference curve. MRS. MRS between orange, part F. MRS between oranges and apples is 2 for Suresh and that for Nirmala. So Suresh between oranges and apple is 2 for Suresh, and for Nirmala it is the 3. Explain the difference in two MRSs. What is this 2? Suresh, MRS between oranges and apple is 2. What does that mean? Suresh is willing to give up 2 oranges to get 1 apple. Because of preference, he is willing to give up 2 oranges to get 1 apple. But Nirmala is willing to give up 3 oranges to get 1 apple. Marginal utility of apple is very high. She likes apple very much. Marginal utility is very high. Therefore, she is willing to give up 3 apples to get 3 oranges to get 1 apple. Suresh is willing to give up 2 oranges to get 1 apple. Nirmala is willing to give up 3 oranges to get 1 apple. Explain the difference. That's how last time I said, last week we said that the MRS is an individual specific concept. We all are different because our MRS is different. Substitutability, willingness to substitute two goods, different. That's why people are different. For example, these two consumers, Suresh and Nirmala, are completely different. Suresh is willing to go up 2 oranges to get 1 apple, but Nirmala is willing to go up the 3 oranges to get 1 apple. They are different. Consumers' willingness to substitute one for the other is different. That's why we all are different, unique. Along an indifference curve, what is fixed? Along an indifference curve, what is fixed? Along an indifference curve, what is fixed? Total utility is fixed. Remember, indifference curve is convex to the origin. These bundles along this indifference curve give the same total utility. If it is 100, bundle A gives him 100 utils, bundle B gives him 100 utils, bundle C gives him 100 utils, along that. If you go to the high indifference curve, maybe different. But still, all the bundles along the high indifference curve, same utility, same total utility. Right. If the indifference curves between two goods are straight lines, what does that imply about the MRS between the two goods? Remember, we discussed this the two goods for two goods. When they are perfect substitutes, difference curves are straight line, set of parallel lines, straight lines, right? So the slope is constant. To take a difference curve, one indifference curve, slope is constant. Where the consumer is willing to substitute at the same rate to get 1 unit of. It's a straight line, no? 1 unit of the other good. Slope is constant slope. Constant MRS. MRS is constant. The straight line, if the MRS is 2, at every point he is willing to substitute 2 to get 1 next, 2 to get 1 next, 2 to get 1 next, because it's a straight line. Next question. What can you say about the two goods at above H? Goods are perfect substitutes. Goods are perfect substitutes. Part J. explain the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. What is the total utility and marginal utility? Total satisfaction and marginal satisfaction. Total satisfaction, marginal satisfaction. Remember this curve? Total utility increases, attain the maximum point and then decreases. Marginal utility curve continuously decreases. Total utility curve. Now what will happen? When total utility is increasing, marginal utility is falling but positive. When total utility is at the maximum point, marginal utility is 0. When total utility is increasing, marginal utility is falling and positive. When total utility is at the maximum point, marginal utility is 0. When total utility is falling, marginal utility is falling and negative. It's negative. Marginal utility is negative. Remember, I will draw this curve again. Total utility increases, then the maximum and then decreases. Marginal utility curve continuously decreases. And total utility is increasing, marginal utility positive, but decreasing, falling. When total utility is at the maximum point, marginal utility is 0. When total utility is falling, marginal utility is negative, falling, negative. Negative. That is the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. Mathematically speaking, what is that? Mu equals change in total utility divided by change in quantity. Change in total utility divided by change in quantity. Change in total utility. That is right. Next question. What do you understand by the budget constraint? Explain briefly. Now in the examination, there are two types of questions asked. What do you understand? What do you mean? Another type of question, define MRS. Define and what do you have? When you say define something, you have to give the precise definition. What do you understand? You can explain in addition to the definition. You can explain, give your opinion, views about that concept. For example, MRS is the total marginal utility is the change in total utility divided by change in quantity. Then you can explain what do you understand marginal utility is the utility of the last unit. When your consumption increases by 1 unit, by how much total utility increases. Marginal rate of substitution, good example. Change in Y divided by change in X. MRS. What do you understand? Then you can, it is the consumer's willingness to substitute one good for the other so that to get the same utility. Explain briefly. Any paper, in most of the papers, You get this kind of type of question. Define, explain. What do you understand? Right? When you define, you ask the definition. Precise definition is important in the case of law or mathematics, chemistry, physics. When you ask define, if the definition is not complete, the one word is dropped, you get 0 marks. But do you understand, explain, then you can give your own opinion. Explain should be correct. Write down the equation in the budget line, explaining all the terms. Equation, we know Pxx plus Pyy is equal to I. Pxx, price of x, into quantity x, Pxx, plus Pyy, price of y into y, equals income. Pxx is expenditure on x. Pxy is expenditure on y, buying y units. Income, I. So total expenditure equals total income. That is the budget constraint. I can formalize this. Pxx plus Pyy is equal to I. This is expenditure on X. When a consumer purchases X unit at Px, expenditure on X. Expenditure on Y. Purchase Y units at Py, expenditure on Y. This is the income. Equals, that means he spent all his income only to buy these two goods. Budget. Right. If Px is 2, Py is 4, and consumer income is 100, draw the budget line. Okay, I will first write down the budget constraint. Px is 2, Py is 4. Px is 2, Py is 4. Px is 2, Py is 4. That means Px is 2. 2x plus 4y equals 10. That is equation of the budget line. Px 2x plus 4y equals 10. Hundred. This is 100. 100, yes. $100. 2x plus 4y equals 100. Now, budget line. Now we will draw that budget line. That line is this. At this point, he spent all 100 to buy only X. 100 divided by 250. This point, you spend all 100 to buy Y only, 25. That is the budget constraint. How to get this point? You spent all your income 100 to buy only X. Price of X is 2. 100 divided by 2, 50. This one, 100 divided by 4. He spent all his income to buy only Y. 25 units of can be purchased. And in between you have the combination. Px or Py, slope of this budget constant is 2 upon 4, 0.5. Slope is 0.5. 0.5, 2 over 4, 0.5. 0.5. Px or Py is the slope of the budget constraint. Slope of the budget constraint. Draw the budget line if income increases to 120. PX, PY are held constant. That is a good question. Now, if income increases to 120, your budget constraint shifts. Parallel shift. PX, PY constant. Income increases to 120. Income increases to from 120. Budget line 2x. New budget line is 2x. Price is constant. 4i equals 120 this time. Price is constant. Now, budget line is here. Now, these 2 points, can you calculate? 120 divided by 2, 60. This point, 120 divided by 4, 30. Budget line, second budget line. It's 2, V2, V1. Budget line shift. When income increases, keeping constant the prices. When income increases, budget line shifts. Budget line shifts. Budget line shifts. What is PCC? We have discussed. Explain. When the price of one good changes, the change in consumption, keeping other prices, other variable constant, price of Y constant, income constant, you change only the price of X. You change in consumption of the two goods are called the joining these two the consumption bundles, we derive the PCC. ICC also you can explain what is when income increases, budget constraint shifts, parallel shift, consumer can attain to higher the bundles, utility maximizing bundle also shifts, can buy higher, afford more and more of X and Y. Then by joining these points, you get the ICC curve. ICC curve, right? Okay. Now at this point we'll stop. Yes, stop no, we can define no, sorry, last question. What are the key differences between the cardinal and ordinal approaches to the theory of consumer behavior? Now this is one of the questions, past paper questions. Cardinal approach and ordinal approach. The question was, they asked cardinal utility and marginal or ordinal utility. The cardinal utility assumes utility can be measured. Ordinal utility assumes utility cannot be measured, but consumer can rank different bundles according to his preference. Cardinal approach assumes utility can be measured. Right? So the cardinal approach means we develop the development of the theory of consumer behavior, assuming utility is measurable. Ordinal approach is developing the theory of consumer behavior, assuming utility is cardinal. Utility cannot be measured. That is the second approach. I want you to write the answer. The question number 4. Question number 4, indicate whether the following statements are true or false, giving explanation. Consumer in a market economy is a price setter. Wrong. He doesn't have any price setting behavior. He's a price taker. When TU is falling, MU is positive. Wrong. When TU is falling, MU is negative. Think about the graph. When TU is falling, MU is negative. Two indifference curves can intersect. Wrong. We said can be proved using the assumption of consumer preference. Can be proved. Two indifference curves for a given consumer do not intersect. They never intersect. Statement is wrong. Part D. When MUX or MUY greater than PX or PY, consumer will buy more X and less y. Now we have to do some small changes here. Mux or Muy greater than Px or Py. When Mux or Muy greater than Px or Py. You can't draw conclusion as it is. You have to do slight change to bring this Px here, Muy there. Now you can draw conclusion. What is that? Marginal utility per rupee on X greater than marginal utility per rupee on Y. Consumer is getting more marginal utility from X, spend the rupee on X. Then the same rupee on Y. Therefore, what is consumers, a rational consumer definitely increase the consumption of X because you are getting more marginal utility and decrease the consumption of Y. That is rational. Now let me see what is the statement say. What is the statement? Statement they say if when you Mx or Muy greater than Px, consumer will buy more of X and less of Y. Yes, correct. Ox less Y. Statement is correct. First statement is wrong. Second one wrong. Third one wrong. Fourth one is correct. Fourth one is correct. Now we completed except this question number 3. Question number 3, actually you can try if you cannot do that, let me try that next week. But so of course it's not a difficult question. You use the equilibrium approach. Mux or Muy equals Px or Py plus budget constraint Pxx plus Pyy equals I. Then you get 2 questions, 2 equations with 2 unknowns. You can solve for X and Y. Try that. Homework question. Homework question. Then we'll stop now. The next week, actually, I want to discuss the other one. So, PowerPoint presentation. Theory of firm. Okay, I will give the introduction. Up to now, we have discussed theory of consumer behavior because consumer represent the demand side of the market. Theory of consumer behavior, we build a theory, model about the behavior of a consumer, his objectives, market constraint, like that. Now, consumers represent, so firms represent supply side. Now we are going to develop a theory about the firm. How does a firm takes decision? What are the constraints? What are the objectives? What is profits? So these concepts are discussed here. So the next week probably we can discuss. Yes, please go through. Now you have the note. Please go through this. I'll try to finish it. If you can go through, it's not a difficult, very straightforward. But some theories are there. But I want to do calculations also. Do the calculations also. Just go through and come to the class. We can do that. The complete lessons. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me.